Welcome back to the continuing adventures with the Florida Powerboat Club members celebrating 25 years, and we are now rejoining the members on the Tampa Bay Poker Run 2018. Look at these amazing shots as these powerboats, about 45 teams, crossing the Tampa Bay waters. This episode is presented by Mercury Racing, and when we last left off, the group had just arrived for lunch here at Hula Bay. This is located at the Tampa Harbor Yacht Club, and you can see the party has begun. And remember, it's just lunchtime. We still have the whole afternoon ahead of us. Hey, it's time to check in with our crew. How about this Kiana, our new FPC girl? It's her first poker run with the club. So let's get things kicked off here with this team, Sean and Channing MacArthur. They're locals in this 36-foot Blackwater called Team Dream Hunter, and they are regulars on this run. I do believe it's their third year in a row, and I read in Sean's video bio, they said it was a great event. They really liked the fun run lunch on Friday, which we showed you in an earlier episode. And we asked Sean to tell us a little bit something about his boat. He said this is a 70-mile-per-hour boat. It's got triple Mercury 300 Verados. And Sean claims that that makes him one of the slower boats on the run. Well, Sean, maybe that is so, but you do make up for it by having a fun crew every time you come out. A very spirited team. Great to have you guys back again. Just a little footnote about this Blackwater 36. Not seeing too many of those since Mark Fisher's taken over the company. He's focused all his efforts on the new 39 as well as the new 43, and that 43 is going to be on display at the Emerald Coast Poker Run this August. And it's always more fun when you can be running alongside another one of the teams. And here we've got Cass Schubert in his 38 Cigarette running alongside Greg Tolson in his 32-foot Sensation. And this is two V-bottoms that I've seen a lot of time on this event. Both of them have been repeat veterans on this event for about as many years as I can remember. So thanks, guys, for your loyal support, and I hope to see you guys back next year. And we're catching up one more time with Brad Hancock from Georgia and his 50-foot Hustler. Now, in our last episode, we saw this boat. He was running fast, and I mentioned something about the side exhaust because some race boats have that, but in his case, that is not an exhaust pipe. That is just a water discharge. Just taking it slow now as we catch up now with Josh Kirkland, who's just making his way out from the lunch stop, getting ready to go back on plane for the run back to downtown Tampa. And we saw a lot of this boat in the first episode with the coverage of the Tampa event, and that's because it was our official fun boat for the Friday Fun Run, and that's exactly what these guys do. They have a lot of fun. Dirty Duck is a popular site on a lot of these poker runs. Josh and his crew usually fly in from Atlanta, but the guy who leaves about 2 days in advance, that's Pete Waller. He's in charge of getting this big 42 Huntress here to Tampa, as well as another boat, the 50 Hustler, owned by Brad Hancock. And I think that we'd all agree that Pete does an awesome job behind the scenes of getting these boats here and keeping them running. So big high five to Peter. He's not on board today. He's running with Brad, but Dirty Duck has got one big full crew, and they're big guys, especially Big Brian there waving at us. Fun group to hang out with, though, and this is the ideal platform to do it on. This Huntress has a huge beam. It's got nice facilities down below. It's got plenty of power from its Mercury Racing Quad 350 Verados. This is the ideal boat if you've got a lot of friends and you want to do poker runs. This is certainly the boat that you need to have. If any of you ever get up to Lake Lanier, do any boating there, you're going to see more of Dirty Duck because that's close to home for Josh, and he's always cruising around that lake. And every poker run needs to have its mothership, and this indeed has been the mothership on the Tampa Bay Poker Run for at least 5 years running. Red Reynolds from Wisconsin, who also has a beautiful Florida home in Sarasota, is on the big Lady Lisa today. She's an 80-foot Nortec Roadster powered by twin-turbo Caterpillar diesels that pushes this boat at over 70 miles per hour, and I can only say that because I've been on it. Going at least 65 with about 10 or 15 people on board. But they're just taking a nice, easy cruise today. Captain Doug at the helm, probably running about 50 miles per hour right now and enjoying the day. And why wouldn't they? It's such a beautiful day out. And this boat does have its limitations on what events it can attend, but Tampa is a perfect venue. Gives Red a nice big dock space right there in front of American Social. And here's another one of our teams all the way from Wisconsin, but he keeps coming back to the Tampa Bay Poker Run. Glenn Kennedy who has probably done this event at least a half a dozen times in the 8 or 9 years we've been doing it. But it's the first time in this new SV43 Outer Limits. I believe he's got some big Bob Teague power into that under those hatches. And this boat is capable of running about 135 miles per hour last time I checked. But he's going nice and slow, waiting for the chopper. As soon as that chopper comes down, it's on the throttles. Maybe not off the trim quick enough, but she's going to be aired out just in time for us to move on to this next boat. All right, sorry, Glenn, we got you good in the last show. Let's say hi now to Craig and Cynthia Belfato, who put on a great show in our last episode of this Tampa coverage, and that's when they got together with the 2 other 39 Nortex. This one powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados, a perfect poker run boat, a great fishing boat, and for them it's the ideal boat for their boating lifestyle. They're loving it because they've had a number of boats before. They even went boat racing for a few years, but they hung up the racing helmets and got themselves a poker run Nortec, and they're having a lot of fun with it. Okay, let's say hi to Johnny O'Loughlin and Jimmy McIntyre at the helm here of this 34-foot MTI called Little Vengeful, and she is the sister ship to Vengeful, which is a 48 MTI powered by Mercury Racing 1550s. So why have two? Well, because sometimes the big boat is just a little hard to move around, and the little boat is much easier to move around. And that's why she's going to make it to a few poker runs here or there. Not to mention those Mercury Verado 400Rs are pretty much zero maintenance. They burn very little fuel, so you can play all day long, burn about 100 gallons, put it back on the trailer, and have a zero effort day. So a lot to be said about that. Good move, Johnny. Let's take a closer look at this American Classic Outer Limits 42 Legacy with a Canadian Classic at the helm. That's right, Richard Girth. He's a classic. You know why? Because he's loyal. He's here every year. Nothing but a big smile on his face and a handshake, and good job, Stu. You know, that's the kind of guy I love having around, and he likes to bring his family and his friends here year after year. He's had this boat as long as I can remember, Mercury Racing 700s, and he is running loud and proud today here on this Tampa run. Just listen to those Merc 700s roar. And now we're joining Ron Zolak and Chip Miller. This time we've got a bigger crew on board. I stayed on board with the guys and enjoyed my first day on a 31 skater. This one powered by Mercury Verado 400Rs. Kind of a similar situation to what we showed you earlier with Johnny O. And that's because Ron Zolak has owned so many power boats, big skaters, and big center consoles. But this 31 Cat is the answer to his needs. Once again, it's pretty simple. Very low maintenance, runs great, run 100 miles an hour all day long, and we managed to get the 2 FPC girls in the back seat enjoying their first ride on a powerful boat, and you can't see their faces, but they're just having a blast right now. Not. Well, I did look over my shoulder, and Ariane wasn't exactly smiling. I think we were running about maybe 80 or 85 right about here, and we were coming up on a wake, and when we crossed that wake, the boat aired out just a little bit, and I think that got her attention. Now let's say hi to Chris Stevenson and his lady Melisa. They've always got a fun crew on board. I remember a while back when it was St. Paddy's Day and they were wearing those lime green wigs to celebrate the theme. But yeah, a really spirited team. You can just look at them. Look at Melisa and her girlfriend. They're just hooping it up right now, having fun on this 32 Spectre, pair of Mercury Racing 300 XS's. I think it's a perfect boat for Chris. They just love it, and they've been back on this run at least 3 or 4 times, so nice to see you guys join us. Well, they say that birds of a feather flock together, and that's exactly what these guys do. On the left, Chris Lamort from New Jersey. On the right, Chris Ryder from Long Island, and they're both running skaters. On the right is Chris with his 368, and on the left, that's a 36 Classic, really, an older boat, but very, very well maintained. Both of them running great. These guys, this is not their first rodeo. They do a lot of poker runs together, and they love doing these events over here on this coast, especially the Tampa Bay run and the Fort Myers run, which takes place a month earlier. I like to follow them on Facebook. I just started the Facebook thing, but these guys crack me up with their little jokes back and forth, especially with their buddy Bill Munyon, who's here on the run too, and his 368 skater. But when they're not playing around with each other on Facebook, they're tearing up the waterways here on the Tampa Bay run, and rightly so. We've got perfect conditions today, ideal for these kind of boats, and nice to see the two Chris's back on board with us here in Tampa. And finally catching up with our Deep Impact team. He's been running so fast we couldn't catch him. Simon and Catherine Williams on this 399 Deep Impact Quad Mercury 350 Verados. Color match to the boat, all white, which is in fact a departure from most of the Deep Impacts that have been built in the last year or two, which have been bright oranges, bright reds, and multiple graphic designs by Stephen Miles. So this all-white boat was really the first one, and I think it's kind of growing on me, and I think a few others have agreed that it's just a great look for this boat, and a big departure for Simon, who used to drive a pretty wild-looking 42 cigarette. Now let's catch up with Neil and Cindy Campbell, who have a home in Sarasota, but they're originally from the Nashville area. This is a 42-foot Mystic powered by triple Mercury 400Rs, and they have got a party going on here today. Now, if anybody remembers back a couple of episodes, the first episode when we did card number 1 in downtown Tampa, we had Stephanie and Ashley on board. They're in the boat right now, and here's a shout out to the ladies for helping us out.
First poker card assignment with Florida Powerboat Club, and it won't be your last.
So thanks to Neil and Cindy for bringing such a spirited and fun crew. Nice to have you guys back, and I'm glad that you were able to bring the big Lazara and be right in the middle of Party Central there at the Tampa Convention Dock. So it worked out for everybody, and I hope we can come back next time. Well, we told you there were going to be a lot of cats on this run, and Bill Waters didn't leave anything on the table when he cranked up his 30 Spectre with twin Mercury 300 XSs, and he had his guest on board, Danny Merrill. And let me explain how this all came together. At the 11th hour, just before the run, Danny experienced mechanical gremlins on his boat, and so he scrambled to catch up with Bill, whose boat was also apart. So they did everything they could to get Bill's boat back together, and they did. They accomplished that, and they decided to make it a guy's run because there would have been 8 of them on the boat if they had their wives. So then Neil and Cindy Campbell were gracious enough to take the girls on the boat, and so everything just worked out fine, and the boys could go out for a little cat play. One little footnote I want to mention, I've seen this boat for the last 15 or 16 years of its life. It's a 2002 Spectre. It was previously owned by Sean Mines, who coincidentally now is one of Bill Waters' best friends. He didn't know him at the time, but it's just nice to see these boats sticking around and continued use, and obviously Bill's doing a great job of keeping her running. And whenever you get a chance, guys, if you get caught up in this white foamy water, if you're following somebody's wake, get the boat out of that wake, get in some clean water. It always makes for some great photo and video. And we're going to close things off for this nice ride on this beautiful Saturday by rejoining Red Reynolds on the big Lady Lisa 80-foot Nortec. Clearly this is the mothership and has been the mothership on the Tampa Bay poker run for about the last 5 years, and she is just so majestic and beautiful, as well as most of the crew members on Red's boat, because Red has always had a reputation for being very selective about his female passengers, and done a great job today. Looks like that's Bill Robbins enjoying the ride, as he should. And it goes without saying that this is indeed a shout out to Nortec High Performance Boats, who are a sponsor of this event, but have clearly demonstrated that they can build pretty much anything, and this 80-foot Roadster is a testament to that. So thanks to Red for continuing to join us on this event, and thanks to Nortec for putting out 25 years of beautiful, amazing creations like this Lady Lisa. And it looks like we're finally catching up with Michael and Tara Kimball on this 28-foot Sea Fox. Yes, indeed, this center console is a registered poker run boat, Team Real Axon. And, you know, I wonder why we couldn't catch him. He was a front runner the whole day long. He just got an early start, nailed the throttles, kept it out front, led the whole pack the whole way. Good job, Mike. And it really was a fantastic day of boating. You can see how sunny it is here today. This March weather in the Tampa area is about as good as it gets. The light winds, and you can see all these teams, they're all just riled right up. They're just having so much fun. The weather was perfect. The conditions for these cats really was ideal. So no matter what kind of boat you had, you really got a chance to run it and enjoy the performance of the boat all day long. You can see you've got this long idle zone coming in between Harbor Island and Davis Island, but it's an enjoyable idle because you're pretty much winding things down for the day, taking off those life jackets, maybe opening up the cooler, and getting ready for happy hour and for a festive evening ahead, which will include a big party at American Social where we're going to do all the awards. I want to thank everybody in the downtown Tampa area for your support and making this a great event now, our new headquarters for the Tampa Bay Poker Run. We've got so many great facilities here. Now we've just switched from helicopter video to drone video. Local Abraham here is getting some great shots. He was here waiting for us as we arrived, and this is really a perfect place for the drone. It really doesn't bother anybody. There's no prop wash. There's no safety issues, really. Just a small little drone buzzing around. But he really got a chance to get some great footage of our teams. There's Don and Alice Lightfoot and their big 52-foot Nortec cat, the biggest cat on the run today, recently repowered with Mercury Racing 1550s. And as he goes into the dock, I do want to point out that one additional docking scenario that will be available next year are these docks that are down in front of the American Social and Jackson's Bistro. They were not available to us this year because the management company wanted way too much money for our event, and we just went off and made our own plans with the other marinas. But I believe we've spoken with the dock master, and he's agreed to come up with a more favorable rate for us in 2019, which means that really anyone who's staying at the Westin Waterside Resort here is going to be able to walk down from their room right down to the dock and get on their boat. But overall, we'll still keep the facilities at the Marriott and the Convention Center, and this is going to give us a chance to bring this event to easily 100 teams in the coming years. And as we promised earlier, a great poker run deserves a great party, and this was the ideal platform, this brand new American Social, which is really the flagship American Social of this new brand that is popping up across the nation. And it really combines a social atmosphere with great dining, great drinks, fun bartending kind of atmosphere where the staff really engages with the customers, and I think that we really like that. I think that people enjoy that setting. The food really was fantastic, and they had a private dining area outside for our entire group. So while we still had private space for our own group, we're still kind of like engaged with the general public. Later on in the evening, they opened things up. So this venue gave us the best of both worlds, which was also an indoor and outdoor vibe. So if you wanted to stay inside in the air conditioning where we played out the poker cards and where most of the dining was done, but then you could wander outside on the patio and enjoy the great weather, the March weather, and of course the beautiful views of the downtown Tampa waterscape, which is really spectacular at night with all the lights. And of course our FPC staff, including model Ariane and Kiana and Tracy, our office manager, they all got together and helped all the teams play out their cards. We had several teams to play out, over 45 teams registered for this event, so that took a little while, but it's worth it, guys, to play your cards because we've got some great awards for everybody, and it's always nice to take something home as a souvenir from the event. Ron McLean and Simon Williams accepted the sponsor award for Deep Impact Boats, and here's Eric Glazer for Midnight Express Boats, who had a 43 on the run. Sarasota boat dealers Chris and Bill Erickson accepted on behalf of Nortec High Performance Boats, and we welcomed our new sponsor, Icon Aircraft. It was 2 in a row for Tom Wall with TD Wall Sport Chassis, and they sold a brand new truck here at the event. President's Choice Awards included Best Paint and Graphics, which went to Glenn Kennedy for his Outer Limits. Johnny O'Loughlin won Best Tow Vehicle for his brand new Sport Chassis. And as always, at all FPC events, the coveted Sexiest Crew Award this time went to Team Bodacious 2, those lovely ladies aboard that 42-foot Mystic, who not only deserved to win the award for looking so good, but Stephanie and Ashley actually stepped up and volunteered to be our card girls for the first checkpoint on the morning run. And the contenders for Sexiest Crew, of course, these twins, Amelia and Christina from Chicago, who have been on FPC events in the past. They rode this time with Glenn Kennedy on the Outer Limits. And Best Catamaran went to the brand new Pellini Marine 34 Cat, powered by Mercury Racing 400Rs. And it's always a festive evening as we get closer to the final awards, but there's still time for one more cameo from Amelia and Christina, who made their debut with FPC at the Fort Myers 2017 event. Gretchen and Noel Speranza won for Best Dressed Team. And the Rachels and the MacArthurs tied for the Good Samaritan Award. Special recognition to John and Kathy Popowitz, Best V-Bottom, for their 5-year rebuild project on their 1985 Scarab. And the top winners start with Tom and Andrea Anselmi from Jersey for winning 3rd place in Team Necessary Evil. Johnny O'Loughlin took 2nd place with Team Little Vengeful. It's a 34-foot MTI with Mercury Racing 400Rs. And a big congratulations to Bob and Madeline Christie from New Jersey, winning 1st place with the best poker hand in their 34-foot MTI Team Jersey Strong. It was a great new venue here at American Social. We thank everyone who attended, and I'm sure everyone agrees we'd love to come back. Sunday morning, we awoke to yet another perfect day. That's 3 in a row here in Tampa, and really an ideal day to go out boating again. Light winds, moderate temperatures, clear skies, as you can see. But you know, a lot of people are going to have to head home. It's a long ways back. There goes John and Kathy Popowitz in their Scarab. But we still have the FPC photo and video team here, and we've got a few of these beautiful FPC girls still on hand. So let's get down to business with Ariane, who made her comeback here to the Tampa Bay run. She joined us about 4 years ago when we were in St. Petersburg, and she is feeling and looking very patriotic today with the Star-Spangled Bikini, and wearing it well, I must say. She's a mother of 2. Obviously, she looks after herself, and she's happy to be back in the modeling full swing. And Ariane, we're happy to have you back and look forward to seeing you soon. And our newest member of the Team FPC Girls, Kiana, who came over from Florida's East Coast and really made a big splash with the club. She seems to enjoy performance boating, and we hope to see her back on another FPC event very soon. I can't think of a better way to wrap up a fantastic poker run than with a bikini shoot right down here on our sponsor boat. So to all of you who are enjoying this show, let's check in with Team Bodacious, who had a front row seat to this shoot, and see how they liked it. Well, this pretty much wraps up part 3 of our 3-part series with feature coverage of Florida Powerboat Club's 2018 Tampa Bay Poker Run, which moved to downtown Tampa for its first time. And I think we can all agree this is a great venue. We're all going to return in 2019. One more shot of that amazing money shot going through the Sunshine Skyway, which is on the cover of the Florida Powerboat Club's 2018 calendar. If anybody would like more information about the club, of course, you can find us online at flpowerboat.com, and we're all over the social media too. We'll have that up in just a second. Meanwhile, this is Stu Jones. Thanks for watching, and we hope that one day you'll be able to join us for an adventure with members of the Florida Powerboat Club on the beautiful waterways of the Sunshine State. Now remember, while we still have a lot of Florida natives in the club, about 75 to 80% of our clientele are from out of state. So we are a tourism-driven organization, and we're very happy to help to get people to come boating in Florida, and we'll reach out with the red carpet to welcome you at any one of the many venues that we offer. Check us out on social media, on Facebook at FL Powerboat. Florida Powerboat Club YouTube channel. Please subscribe for updates on all of the great productions. And, of course, we're also on Instagram. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Be safe out there, guys.